Hello and welcome to another Raggy's Golden Ale on an absolutely baking hot day. It's very warm in here still, but it's a bit cooler out there. But it's a pain in the arse taking stuff in and out. So doors open, hopefully that'll cool things down a little bit. So we're going over to Adnams, and my son picked this up from the Stamford shop outside of Peterborough. Remember, served me correctly. And this is their Adnams Explorer Golden Ale. 5% ABV. Doesn't really say anything. Oh, there we go. From our hometown of Southwold, we set off to see the world. Explorer captures the spirit of discovery by blending bold American hop flavours. It is bright and refreshing with the aromas of grapefruit grove, and hints of resinous pine. Great with salmon, veggie dishes and light summer salads. I'm not keen on salmon. Always remember at the council house we won Britain in Bloom, and we were invited for a meal. You know, they invited the peasants who actually do the work for a meal instead of councillors. But councillors were there in attendance, as the Lord Mayor was, and several dignitaries and all that sort of thing. Anyway, we're in the council house, and it was a sit-down meal back in the day, and the champagne on the table. Oh, sparkly wine, champagne. I assume it was champagne, to be fair, because in them days they really put the boat out, you know. And the first, we had no choice of what came. First starter came, and it was salmon, and I'm like, oh no. Don't eat salmon. Oh. And the champagne was there, and I'm like, cut a bit off. Champagne. I was absolutely steaming by after the first, you know, course, because obviously champagne. But anyway, here we go. Golden ale, lovely golden pour, nice bit of carbonation. Whitehead, love Adnams Brewery. You know, if you ever get the chance to go to Southwold, if you're a fan of beer like myself, you go there and you go in there. What is their tap? The Soul Bay Brewery, the tap house, and you'll be amazed at the range of beers, spirits, and beer, obviously, that they sell both on cask and keg. And you walk around the corner. Got the lighthouse there, you can do brewery tours, you walk around the corner, the biggest shop you've ever seen for a brewery, and it's like, wow, absolutely stunning. Blew me away, absolutely blew me away. My admiration was outstanding for them. Anyway, so oh, fruity. I think a modern interpretation of golden ale. Obviously, Adnams are one of those rare breweries that are both good at modern traditional and good at craft as well. Met some amazing craft beers. Definitely on the Iraqi agenda to go back down there at some stage. Not far off now. We've got two places to go this year. We're going over to Filey in September for a weekend, slightly long weekend, but a weekend nonetheless. And then over to Prestatyn in October. That will conclude our beery adventures for the year. Then it'll just be normal pubs, and you know, we're not this year. We're not even looking at Robin Hood Beer Festival. Everyone's looking at the price, 25 quid to get in. Cost of bus fares down there, 25 quid to get in. High price of food, like 13 or 14 quid. And it makes it, you know, and the tickets are obviously a price as well. and it makes an expensive, a very expensive night out, where we can go out for a drink, even if one of us is not driving, both not driving, we can go spend 60 quid, have a full day drinking lots of different beers, and that's with travel as well and food. So, you know, will beer festivals price themselves out the market? There is, you know, we've all got a limit on what we spend, on what we can afford to spend on beer. Some of us are obviously much more able to spend freely and not really worry. But others who work really hard for our money, not saying that other people don't, but for a lesser wage, and look at the costings, and it's like, ooh, you know. I mean, even now, I go to craft beer pubs, and I'm looking at the costings for thirds of a big impy, and if it's too silly, I won't drink it. Whereas before, it was a no-brainer, always the big beer. Have I at that moment? I probably think I have, you know. I probably think I'd rather brew the stuff, brew the big beers myself. Fucking flies. Brew the big beers myself and enjoy in cans and bottles and that, the lower ABV stuff. And then when I want to have something big, as a treat, brew something big, maybe flavour it up and go down that route. Unless I'm getting it bought for my birthday, then fair play, I'll drink what I like. Yeah, certainly a modern interpretation of a golden ale. Still got that golden ale vibe to it, but with more fruity flavours from the American hops. ABV is, did it say, I'm sure it said 5%, yeah. Like I say, love this brewery, I love what their ethos and what they do. Good to see they've got over their slight wobble last year, which was concerning. I mean, this is a brewery with shops all over, pubs all over, and long may they continue. You know, we do not want these buying out by somebody like Green King or Marston's, and that sort of horrible conglomerates who only care about putting crap beer in the pubs and ruining that pub experience for everyone. Best pubs these days, in my opinion, no shadow of a doubt, the pubs. They've got a nice healthy selection of beers. It can be from the same brewery, but you know, a healthy selection of different beers, different styles. So as we walk into a pub, we're like a kid in a sweet shop, and that to me is the absolute pinnacle of how the pub should be. The sediment's gone back down to the bottom, and it's not cleared now. Funny how beer is. Would I drink this again? Yes, I'd love to. I'd love to go back to Southwold and drink this and enjoy it. I'd love to stop over in Southwold. It looks a lovely place, you know. We all have our own opinions of towns and cities. I mean, I live in Nottingham, and I go into the city centre, and it's awful. It's absolutely awful. But you go into the villages and towns on the outskirts of Nottingham, Southall for one, and much better, much better. And sadly, most cities now are full of, well, gangs, youths, and it ruins it. And you know, coming from a background where I was born in the city centre, or worked in the city centre all my life, worked on public parks, dealing with the with some of the questionable people of humanity, you know, having to deal with people with knives and other stuff, you know. And they had a knife, I had a spade. There's never going to be a one. The only winner is the person wielding the spade. You'll get one. You'll come to me with your knife. My spade is going to splatter your knife, and then, well, and I can wield a spade as an instrument. 40 years of wielding spades. I know how to deal with people like that, and obviously we've had to in the past, you know, for fruity elements on the park. I absolutely feel invigorated tonight, but I'll talk about that on a different review for obvious reasons, because this review is already on 11 minutes. So I like this. This is good beer from Adnams. Yes, I would like to drink it again. For me, a good 4.2 out of 5. A lovely modern interpretation of a golden ale. Thank you for watching. See you soon.